Martyrdom is one of humanity's most powerful ideas. Across every religion, nation, and ideology, stories of those who died for a cause become more than memories. At times, the actual event isn't as important, but the story that came along with it, now that is the important part. From ancient saints to modern activists, martyrs don't just die. They live on as symbols that shape how entire communities see themselves. But why are these stories so enduring, yet so dangerous? Martyrdom was never just about death. Many people have died, but a select few have had the privilege of having their stories carry on, being repeated through places of worship, on televisions, and in stories. Early Christians faced lions in Rome and became symbols of courage. In the Sikh tradition, the execution of Guru Arjan in 1606 wasn't just a political act, but became the spiritual cornerstone for the faith. Proof that truth demands sacrifice. But these stories weren't just historical accounts. They were scripts for identity. They told communities who they were, what they stood for, and what they must be willing to endure to keep their faith. Martyrdom isn't just a religious act, it's political as well. When MLK Jr. was murdered, the fact that his life was cut short brought more fire to his movement and renewed civil rights energy. His words carried further and have more weight today because his life was cut short. If you look at recent events with certain assassinations, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum someone was. If they stood for a cause and their life was cut short, then their movement has extra fire behind it. Whether left or right, religious or secular, the logic is the same. Martyrdom transforms death into political and/or religious fuel. In our media-saturated world, martyrdom spreads faster than ever. A single name or a single photo can spark movements that cross borders. For example, in Iran, Mahsa Amini, when she was killed, she became the face of defiance, and her photo was used in posters and carried on all protests in Iran and around the world for women's rights. When George Floyd was killed, his death reshaped conversations about race and justice worldwide. Even today, with the opposite side of the political spectrum, with Charlie Kirk's death, you can see his followers having more energy than ever to carry on his message. Whether we agree or disagree with his message, we must admit that when someone's life is cut short, their movement gets stronger. When someone becomes a martyr, or at least considered a martyr, the story of their life doesn't matter. It does, but what matters is the stories people make around their death. The mythology that is created around someone. When their stories get retold, reshaped, and rebranded until they aren't just about one life, but something that a whole community can relate to and can fight for. That is the power of a martyr. That's why martyrdom stories matter. Because they don't just tell us about the past, but they shape the present and will inspire the future. They inspire courage, unify movements, and demand justice. But they also divide, fueling battles over whose martyrs matter the most. We can see conflicts between all religions about whose martyrs are the true martyrs, whose war is a true war, whose fight is worth fighting for. Religious traditions, social justice campaigns, political parties, they all use martyrdom to bind their people together. Every generation retells their stories, and every retelling changes the world. The real question is, what do we do with them? Do we use martyrdom stories to build solidarity or to deepen our divisions? This is Sacred Histories with Joy, and in this series, we'll dive into the power of martyrdom across religions, across politics, across our headlines today. Because until we understand the stories of the martyrs that preceded us, we can't understand the struggles that are shaping our world today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll subscribe to learn more about the importance of martyrdom in our society.